Hello, welcome to John B. Sherholz Park, home of the Towson Tigers, for this matchup with the UNCW Seahawks. Seahawks won yesterday 12-3 over the Tigers, showing off their abilities on the mound first. The Tigers showed that they can rally. If they can lead this game by the end of the first, they have a higher percentage chance of winning. That means it will come down to offense today. The pitching has to be immaculate, but it will be an offensive matchup. Tigers on the mound today, Max Simpson. Senior, 5.06 ERA, 2 wins, 6 losses on the season, 10 appearances, 9 games started, with 46 innings pitched. Simpson has to benefit off of his defense as well. His catcher today, Brian Heckelman, 41 hits, 28 RBIs, 4 home runs, tied for second on the team. And this will bring up Brock Wills Jr., averaging .353 coming into this one. 16 games played, 14 games start. Simpson looks in, here's the pitch. Outside, call the ball, 1-0 count. 1-0 to Wills. 18 hits on the season, 1 home run, 6 RBIs, 3 doubles. Here's the pitch. Swinging, strike 1. Wills coming in this one with 9 walks, 13 strikeouts on the season. Both sides set, Simpson looks in. Gets the sign, kicks and deals. Wills shows bunt, he pulls back. That makes it a 2-1 count. 2-1 benefits Wills. Wills had a great game yesterday. Simpson set, deals. Swung on, strike 2. Wills looks back at the catcher, maybe the umpire. I don't know what that was. Simpson set. Here's the pitch. Swung on, popped up to the left side. That one goes foul. Even count for the junior in the box. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, and that one is sent. Sliding play, couldn't make the throw. Great play by Casey Bishop over on second today. Good play from Bishop. Couldn't get the throw off. He was still on his knees. That brings up the sophomore Trevor Lucas. .294 average coming into this one. 38 games played, 38 games started. Simpson set. Here's the pitch. Inside, up by his hands. 80 miles per hour release speed on that one. Simpson looks in. Here's the pitch. Check swing. Did he go? They're going to say he didn't. A lot of disagreement over from the Towson side. 2-0 count now. 2-0, Simpson looks in. Fires that one in there. Called a strike. Simpson talking with the umpire there. The pitch. Called high, 3-1. Hitters count. Towson needs UNCW to hit into a double play here. It would benefit them. Keeping runners off the bags. Here's the steal. He goes. That one is popped out to left field. Tracking back, and it is caught. Throws it back in, and that will send Wills back to first. That one caught by Stefano out left.
Now batting the first baseman, number 29, Tanner Thatch.
One out. Thatch led off with started his game yesterday with a home run. No runners were on for that one. Simpson looks in. Here's the pitch. Thatch swung on, chopped, and loops into center. Wills will round second, and he will take third. That is number 200 for Thatch on his career. Now runners on the corner. Runners on the corners for Brian Arndt. Batting .224 coming into this one. Senior. 33 games played, 32 games started with 24 hits and 14 RBIs. Simpson looks into Arndt. Here's the pitch. High and inside. Almost got him. 200 for Thatch. That was his 200th career hit, a single. Here comes the pitch. Outside, 2-0. 2-0, 1-0. 2-0, 1 out, runners on the corners. Here's the pitch. Swinging, strike one. 2-1, 1 out, runners on the corners. They want to keep runs off the board, so they're focusing on the plate now. Checks first. Here's the pitch. Called outside. 3-1. You don't want to walk the bases loaded here. They have Brady Thompson up next. Had a good game yesterday. Here's the pitch. Runners will go. That one is popped up. Short side. Under it. Caught. They will keep the runners on the corners. That'll bring up Brady Thompson. Freshman batting .358 with 9 RBIs.
Second baseman, number 1.
His average adjusts with 2 outs and with runners in scoring position. With runners in scoring position, he bats a .455 average. With 2 outs, he bats .308. Advantage will most likely go to the Towson side here. Here's the pitch. Called strike one. 0-1, 2 outs, runners on the corners. Both sides set here. The pitch. Way inside, it goes wild. Going for the plate. They're going to say it hit him, so it will not be a wild pitch. And Wills will go back to third. That'll bring up Kevin Jones. Jones, senior, robbed a home run, or robbed by A-hole yesterday. .292 average, 18 RBIs, bases loaded, 500 average with the loaded bases. That one is swung on and chopped foul. Simpson looks in. Here's the pitch. That one is high. Simpson The opposing averages with runners on 272, with 2 outs it's 259. Kevin Jones coming in this one, runners in scoring position, batting 348 when they're loaded 500 with 2 outs 292. Benefit goes to Jones here. The pitch. Swung on and it will land. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score, and the early offense will strike again for UNCW. A 2-out single brings in 2. Gives the lead to UNCW, and it will bring up right fielder Alec DiMartino. DiMartino steps into this one, junior, batting 241. Runner on third and he has 19 RBIs. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, popped foul. Exit speed 62. Pitch there was an 80-mile-per-hour pitch. Here's number 2 in the count. 1-1. 1-1 count to DiMartino. DiMartino, 21 walks, 43 strikeouts. Simpson looks in. Here's the pitch. Called strike 2. 1-2 count, runners on the corners. Simpson looks in. Runner on third is way out in the grass. Here's the pitch. Swung on and lined foul to the right side. Making sure he can stay in this one here. 2 outs, 2 on, 2 strikes, 1 ball to number 5. Simpson looks in. Checks his sign, checks the runners. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, fouled back. Stays alive for one more at bat. Stays alive for one more pitch. New ball after that one was tipped. Jones on first, Thompson on third. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, fouled again. Been able to stay alive on this 1-2 count for a good bit. If he held off, he might have walked. Not on that pitch. DiMartino steps back into the box. The 7th batter in the lineup. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Way foul over by the Towson Jim Burdick Hall. Two 0 here. Two 0 in the first. Here comes the pitch. Called strike 3 looking. Can he help you? Due up for the Tigers. Brett Ahalt, Jordan Payton, Brian Heckelman. We'll be back here in just a minute on Flow Sports. Welcome back here to John B. Sherholz Park. My name is John Daly. Thank you for joining me today for this matchup between UNCW and Towson. UNCW leads coming into the bottom of the first 2-0. Do it for the Tigers. Ahalt, Peyton, Heckelman. Two seniors and a junior who have done really well in these top three roles. Defensively for UNCW, they have Marshburn on the mound, Arndt behind the plate, Thatch at first, Thompson at second, Lucas at third, Jones at short, Wills in left, Gillespie in center, DiMartino in right. And this will bring up Brett Ahalt, the senior, batting .252. 36 games played, 34 games started. Here's the pitch. Called a strike. That one was a bit outside. 0-1 count. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled back. That'll put him down in the count early. The Tigers need to have short counts early, get on base, and then force the pitcher into longer counts. That was an issue yesterday. They had these really short at-bats, and then they'd have these really long at-bats. Anywhere from a 3-pitch at-bat to a 10-pitch at-bat. Here's the pitch. Swinging, strike 3. That'll put one down. And that will bring up Jordan Peyton. Senior batting .301, 38 games played, 38 games started. 43 hits, 26 RBIs, 2 home runs. Here's the pitch from Marshburn. Called a strike. Marshburn definitely expanding the strike zone. Mackey behind the plate. Here's the pitch. Pulls back, not checked, 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. Outside, 2-1. Peyton set in the box. Marshburn up and set. Here's the pitch. That one is swung on and chopped off the bag in play, and he is out at first. 2 outs.
Now batting the catcher, number 17, Brian Heckelman.
Brian Heckelman up to bat. Now Marshburn works in a fastball, a cutter, and a cutter, slider, and a changeup as well. Fastball usually from 91 to 94 miles per hour. Cutter 87 to 89, slider 82 to 84, and changeup 84 to 87. Here's the pitch. Called a strike. That one was on the edge of the zone there. Marshburn the pitch. Outside, 1-1. One and one count. 1-1 count to the junior, batting .366. Coming into this one, here's the pitch. Swung on, popped up. Gillespie will go back on it, and that will be an out. Due up for UNCW, Cole Nelson, Mac Gillespie, Brock Wills back in just a minute on Flow Sports. Welcome back. UNCW leads 2-0 here in the top of the second as the Tigers went down 1, 2, and 3. Tigers hitless through the first, but they need to get some points on the board. Consistently, when UNCW is down early, they will consistently lose. The keys to the Tiger is to keep them under 5 runs altogether and keep the score low early. This will bring up Cole Nelson. He'll be facing Simpson. Heckelman behind the plate. On first, Genove. On second, Bishop. Third, Brand. Short, Peyton. Left field, Stefano. Center, Aholtz. And right, Nugent. Nelson up to bat. A bit of a shift on the first and second side. That one is swung on and crushed to left field. That ball is out of here. UNCW adds another run as he will touch them all. Went hitless yesterday, but he does get to say he got a hit today. And boy, was it one heck of a hit. That one was on the outside edge of the zone that he crushed, and Mac Gillespie is now up to bat. He has to follow that up. Here comes the pitch. Called a ball inside. That one was on the line. It was a good call, but it was tight. Here's the pitch. Two-0 count. Wider zone for Marshburn, a little bit smaller for Simpson. Here's the pitch. That one was flat outside. 3-0 count. Benefits the hitter. If he sees something he likes almost likely swing away. Here's the pitch. That one's called a strike, 3-1. Still leading the count is Gillespie. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 4.
Now batting the left fielder, number 16, Brian.
That'll bring up Brock Wills. Singled back in the first. Can't believe I have to say back in the first already. Here comes the pitch. Called a strike. Oh, 1 count to Wills. The lefty. Checks the runner at first. He will not get him in time. 0-1. 0-1 count. Runner on first. No outs. Already 1 run in this inning. Simpson checks the runner, looks back in. Here's the pitch. Called the ball. 1-1 count now. We got the corner. Called the corner on the strike zone we have, but was still called a ball. 1-1 count here. The pitch. Outside, 2-1. 2-1 seems like with this wider strike zone, or with this smaller strike zone, at least to the Towson side, they're going to have to get pitches in closer over the plate. Here's the pitch. Swung on, strike 2. 2-2 count. That one was in the strike zone. A little high off the middle, though. Simpson said, here's the pitch. Runner will go. Swung on and fouled back. That'll send Gillespie back to first. Gillespie this season, 71.4% stolen base percentage. 5 stolen bases, twice caught stealing on 7 attempts. Simpson looks in. Here's the pitch. Swung on, popped up to left field. Back to the track, caught, and thrown in. That'll keep Gillespie at first, and that will be the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Trevor Lucas. Was up back in the first, flew out to left field. Here comes the pitch. Checked. Called the ball. 1-0 count to Lucas. Simpson gets that runner on first. 1 out here in the top of the second. Here it comes. Holds off on that one. That one's called strike. 1-1 count. One count now. Checks the runner at first again. Gets back in time. 1-1, Gillespie on first. He went the last time after they checked him. He might go again. Second baseman shaded closer to the bag. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Strike 2. 1-2 count. Tigers need to keep him under 5. UNCW 3-16 if they are kept under 5. Runner checked at first again. 1-2 count now. Here comes the pitch. Swung on that one, will go up the middle. Loses it on a bounce. And here comes Wills. That's a triple. He could go. They're going to hold him at third. And that is an error out in center field that will result in a run. Seems that the Tigers are going to call a mound visit here. Just trying to calm him down and worry about the runner on third. That'll bring up Thatch. Home run yesterday and a single today. Lucas on third. A big triple off of an error. That'll bring up Thatch. Here comes the pitch. Called a strike. Getting assaulted here. Both sides set. Here comes the pitch. Called high, 1-1 count.
Warming up in the bullpen for Towson is number 18, Matt Lynch.
Matt Lynch getting up and moving for Towson. 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. Swinging. Strike 2. 1-2 count, 1 out. Simpson sets and deals. And that one will go wild. Here comes Lucas, and another run will score. That'll make it 5-0. And that'll make it much tougher for Towson. 2-2 count. Here's the pitch. Inside. Ball 3. Full count. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and fouled. Simpson gets set on the mound, facing Thatch here. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, and it is grounded. Picked up, thrown to first for the second out of the inning. A great play by Genove to put that runner away.
Now batting the catcher, number 12, Brian Arndt.
That'll bring up Brian Arndt. Popped out to second. His last at bat on a 3-1 count. Arndt set in the box. Simpson set on the mound. Here's the pitch. Call the ball. 1-0, 2 outs. Here comes the pitch. Strike, 1-1 count. 1-1 count. Arndt, an OBP 351. With 2 outs, he bats 0-6-1. That one goes high. 2-1 count now. 2-1 count to the UNCW catcher. Here comes the pitch from Simpson. Called high. Hitters count. 3-1. Here's the pitch. Called a strike. 3-2. Load count. Loaded count. 2 outs. Simpson set, and here's the pitch. Swinging, strike 3. 2 up for the Tigers. Max Delisandro, Ben Nugent, and Casey Bishop. We'll be back here in just a minute on Flow Sports. Welcome back to Sherholz Park. Marshburn on the mound for UNCW. Last 3 batters, 1 strikeout in both, and the 2 others were called out at first. Delisandro up, the junior, batting .315 coming into this one. 31 games played, 31 games started with 34 hits, and 8 home runs. A power bat in this lineup. And they are hoping that he can hit and start the rally.
Number 28, Max D'Alessandro.
And yeah, they need to rally this early. UNCW, when they score first or when they lead by the end of the fourth, typically have a higher chance of winning than losing. One hope for Towson, if we get there, they can bring it into extras, where UNCW has not won. Here's the pitch. Call the ball. One 0 count. Here's the pitch. Outside, 2-0. Here's the pitch. Called a strike. A great frame job there by Arndt behind the plate. Here's the pitch. Check swing. I'm going to say he fouled it off. 2-2 count. To D'Alessandro. 32 strikeouts and 11 walks on the season for him. Here's the pitch. Called outside. 3-2. Full count. Hoping to get a walk here. Here comes the pitch. Swinging, strike 3. Strikeout number 2 for Connor Marshburn.
Now batting the right fielder, number 38, Ben Nugent.
That'll bring up number 38, Ben Nugent. Average 444 on the season. 545 OBP. 2 strikeouts, 2 walks, 4 hits, 4 runs. 5-0 lead for UNCW. Here's the pitch. Nugent, chop ball over to second. Throw to first is in time. It's out number
Now
2.
batting the second baseman, number 8, Casey Bishop.
That brings up Casey Bishop, playing second base today, averaging 208. Averages 125 with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Called a strike, 0-1 count. Both sides set. Here's the pitch. Swung on. And a diving catch, and what a catch it was by Brady Thompson. We'll be back here in just a minute on Flow Sports. Welcome back to John B. Sherholz Park. Tigers make a pitching change. They're going to bring in Matt Lynch Jr., left-handed pitcher. He's going to be going up against a group of righties here mainly. Going to face Brady Thompson in the bottom half of the lineup. It's 1 lefty and 2 righties and 2 more. That'll bring up
Leading off for
Brady
Seahawks,
Thompson,
second baseman number
freshman.
1, Brady Thompson.
Hit by pitch back in the first, loaded the bases. Lynchon looks in. Here's the pitch. Outside. 1-0 count. 1-0, here's the pitch. Called 1-1 count. Here comes the pitch. Swinging, strike 2. 1-2 count. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and popped up. Out and left. And that is caught. It's 1 down.
Now batting the shortstop, number 10, Kevin Jones.
Kevin Jones brought in the first 2. Singled back in the first. Here comes the pitch. Called the ball. 1-0 count. 1 out. Here comes the pitch. Called strike 1. Kevin Jones averaging .297 after that first at bat. Here's the pitch. Called strike 2. Michael Mackey, the home plate umpire. Calling it a little wide, calling it a little tight sometimes, and that one was hit. Picked up at short, thrown to first, and a great play. Jordan Payton over at short, a great play by him. Diving, gets up, and makes the throw. It'll bring up Alec DiMartino, 7th in the lineup. Struck out looking back in the first. Here comes the pitch. Called strike 1. 0-1, 2 outs. If they can get him out of here, that's definitely a step in the right direction for the Tigers. Here's the pitch. Checked on it, ball 1. Matt Lynch looks in. Here's the pitch. All to strike. 1-2 count. Lynch. Lynch 4.50 ERA. 2-0 pitching. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, popped up to the right side. Tracking under it. In foul ground, they will not get there. 1-2 count still. It remains a 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. Outside, 2-2. 2-2 count, 2 outs here. Here comes the pitch. Outside, full count. Full count. Need to keep him off the bags here. Here's the pitch. They're going to say he walked him. That'll walk him, and it will bring up Cole Nelson, the designated hitter. Sophomore came into this one, 233. Home run back in the second, 242 average. Here's the pitch. Swung on, popped up to the right side. Out in foul territory, and it will stay foul. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Strike two. 0-2 count. 2 outs. Runner on first. Lynch checks the runner at first. Here's the pitch. That one's high. 1-2 count now. One-two count. Runner goes. And they're going to get him as he is caught stealing. That'll bring up Stefano, Genove, Brand. Due up in just a minute here on Flow Sports.
Welcome back here in Towson. Matthew Munneman now with you here on Flow Sports.
Leading off for the Tigers, the left fielder, number 1, Cole Stefano.
Cole Stefano leading off the Tigers here as they try to battle back in this one here in the bottom of the third, down 5 against the Seahawks. Tigers, not much action going so far in the offensive end. Able to get a quick inning there in the top of the third. See if that can translate into offense here in the bottom half as he looks at that one outside. 1-1. Josh Janov due up. As that one's outside as he gets ahead 2-1 here in the count. Connor Marshburn dealing today here through 2 innings pitched as that one's going to find the zone 2-2. Stefano, the junior, hitting .246 on the year in his 57 at-bats. As that one from the left fielder's fouled out, he's going to remain at 2-2 here with nobody out. Two-2 delivery grounded, fouled off himself. He's going to remain in the box, staying alive here. 2-2 delivery. Folds Stefano there, but not in the zone. Full count 3-2 as he's going to be able to run this one up. And the Tigers are going to get a runner on board here to lead off here in the bottom of the third as Stefano finds his way over to first base.
Now batting the first baseman, number 11, Josh Jano.
Josh Jano is going to come up here with nobody out and a runner on first as the Tigers try to get back into this one. That first pitch to Jano of outside, strike one. Walks from Marshburn on the year have been one of his few struggles. 22 walks here for him on the year as they're going to check the swing. First place umpire said no, as that one's going to even up the count, 1-1. That one swung on, driven deep into left field, going back onto the warning track and caught for out number one. And Stefano is going to go back to first. Pushed it out the left. If he was able to pull that the other way, it probably would have carried with the wind. But today the wind going left to right, that one's not going to have enough. And that one's going to stay inside the park for out number one. And with one out, that's going to bring up Ethan Brand. Another first pitch strike here dealt by Washburn. Stefano takes his lead as Marshburn delivers for strike number two. They check over at first, and he gets back in time. And with one out, we have Brand down 0-2 on the count. Marshburn the 0-2 to Brand. Thought for a second Stefano was going to be going. He holds up. Ball in the dirt, 1-2. Stefano is a threat to run over there. That off speed going to be outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Offense has been limited by Marshburn this afternoon, so I don't expect them to send him, as that one's going to catch the corner on the outside for strike 3 as he go down looking.
Now batting the center fielder, number 19, Brett Ahalt.
That's going to turn back up the lineup here to the top of the lineup. Brett Ahalt coming up for a second at bat here. That one swung and fouled off, 0-1. Ahalt 0 for 1 on the afternoon, struck out to lead off the game. Two outs, 1 runner on for Towson. That one's going to be grounded to second. And they're going to misplay it there at second. Not able to make the play is Thompson. And the Tigers have late life here with 2 runners on, a runner in scoring position, and 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Tigers have their best opportunity here of the afternoon. Down 5-0 here in the bottom of the third. Have 2 runners on, and Stefano and Aholt. See if the Tigers can find a way to get this one in. That one's going to be driven into right, not moving much, and that's going to be a fly out to right at the end of the inning. But the Tigers had a little bit of momentum there on the offensive end. They'll see if the defense can get them back up in quick fashion as we head into the 4th inning here of action. Tigers trail 5-0 here on Flow Sports. Back here for the 4th inning of action here between the Tigers and the Seahawks of UNCW. It's been all Seahawks here through 3 innings. Tigers trail 5-0. As you saw, a little bit of life there from the Tigers in the bottom half of the third, but not able to get the runners in. Left 2 runners on to end the inning, and we'll see if the defense here for the Tigers can come up big and get the Tigers bats back up to the plate. Nelson leading off the Seahawks here as he's 1 for 1 on the day with a solo home run out to left. Hitting .242 on the year. One ball, 1 strike here. And that one's going to be inside. Just repositioning his gear there. He steps back in to face up against Matt Lynch here. Lynch behind on the count, 2-1. As he steps back in. The 2-1, that's going to be pumped back and fouled. 2-2 as Lynch battles back. Nelson DHing for the Seahawks today, hitting in the 8th spot, the sophomore. .242. And he's going to look at that one high and away.
We need more slack on the SDI cable a little bit. Yeah. Okay, that's better. Thank you.
And that one's going to be pumped up to first and out. Gillespie due up next for the Seahawks here in the top half of the 4th. That one's going to be popped up. Shallow right. Underneath it is Nugent not able to find it. That one's going to fall, and he's going to round second. He's going to head into third. He's going to have a stand up on third. And that's going to be a stand-up triple. Looked like Nugent just lost it there in the sun out in right field, and what looked like a routine fly ball just falls in.
Now batting the center fielder, number 35, Matt Gillespie.
And Cole Nelson on the day has a solo home run to left and now a stand-up triple. And that's going to put a runner in prime position here for the Seahawks, who already have a 5-0 lead here in the fourth, to add on to it with nobody down. As the first pitch to Gillespie is way outside. Ball one. As we said, wind blowing left to right, already dealing with the sun. Looked like the ball just drifted on him a little bit out there and right, as that second pitch is going to find the strike zone, 1-1. That one's fouled off the inside of the bat and out. 1-2. See if Lynch tries to battle against the outside of the plate here, try to get a ground ball. Goes outside, but way outside. 2-2. Tigers have to find a way here to get an out before this run scores, minimize the damage here in the fourth. As the lineup's going to roll back over here with Wills on deck and top of the lineup, as that one's high and away as well. And you were ahead in the count. Now you're running at full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Gillespie on the year, 35 strikeouts. As he's third on the team in strikeouts as of right now. But he's actually going to find a way to work a walk here after being down in the count early, battles back, and with nobody out. You're now going to have 2 runners on. As runners on the corners, we're going to have a quick little mound visit here. And if you're out there talking to Lynch right now, you just got to settle him down, just find a way to throw strikes, put the ball in play. Trust the defense behind you. I know you have that fly ball out to right that just carried on Nugent out there, but you got to find a way to put these balls in play, give your team a chance. As now you're facing the top of the lineup here with runners on the corner and nobody out. You'll most likely have corners in. You'll have a double play ball up the middle, as they'll let the runner on third score to minimize the damage. But just find a way to put it in the strike zone and let your defense do the work. And that one's going to be driven into deep left. That's for sure going to score a run here, as Nelson's going to tag. That play made out and left by Stefano. And we're going to have both runners advance, as Seahawks now take a 6-0 lead here. And the runner is going to move over to second as Gillespie tags from first. And that's exactly what you want. If you're a UNCW fan, sac fly out to deep left, moves both runners. And with 1 out, runner on second, still a runner in scoring position as Gillespie's over at second. You're going to see Trevor Lucas, 1 for 2 on the day. Gillespie takes his lead out at second. The 2-0, not able to find the zone and just struggling on the mound after that debacle out and right. As Lynch is not able to find the zone as of recent. See how much more of a leash he has out on the mound. That's going to be another walk this inning. And with only one out, the Seahawks have runners on once again. 2 runners on, first and second. And this is not part of the lineup that you're going to want runners to be on for. Tanner Thatch now up. The junior hitting .229 heading into today. Has 31 RBIs on the year. Second in the team in RBIs. As he's going to go swinging hard there on pitch number 1. Oh, 1 count. Gillespie on second. Lucas on first. Lynch ahead in the count as he delivers. Finds the inside zone. 0-2 here is the count. The 0-2 to Thatch. Gets a swing and miss in the dirt. A big strikeout there as Gillespie's going to move over to third, but Lynch got the out he wanted. You'll take the runner advancing there because now with 2 outs, you have a runner on first and third, but any out will do here. You'll take the strikeout and advance any day of the week. As that off-speed pitch found the dirt and a swing and miss. That's going to bring up Brian Arndt. Lucas still at first. 3-step lead. And that first pitch ball to Arndt. Two outs, 1 ball, no strikes. That one's going to be swung on, driven into right. Nugent going back. That one's not going to be able to make play, and that one's going to hit the wall. 1 run scores, and he's going to run into second safely. And with 2 outs, that's going to be an RBI double and extend the lead out to 7-0 here in the top of the 4th.
Now batting the second baseman, number 1.
We talked about how those walks are not where you want them, as you walk the first part of the lineup, and now you have the middle of that lineup where it does most of the damage for the Seahawks. And they prove it there as Arndt takes advantage of the 2 walks. And now with 2 outs, they have 2 runners in scoring position. That one's going to find its way into left and find its way down. That's going to score 1. We're going to have a play at the plate, throw away, and that's going to score 2. And those walks come back to bite Lynch as both runners will score. And with 2 outs, it's 9-0 here in Towson.
Now batting the shortstop, number 10, Kevin Jones.
And that's just something that's plagued Towson all year, is just late inning walks have contributed to just runs given up. And it's not the part of the lineup where you wanted to have that happen, and just not having the command issues has plagued them this inning. And UNCW has taken advantage. Still 2 outs, get out of this one. And 2 balls and no strikes. Jones 2 RBIs on the day. He's 1 for 2, 295 on the year. As that one's fouled back into Burdick. Two balls, 1 strike. Thompson takes his lead at first. Lynch delivers home. Off speed, not finding the outside corner. 3 balls, 1 strike. Unfortunately for Lynch, there's really not a weak spot in this lineup. They hit well from top to bottom. He's behind 3-1, finds the zone. Nope, a little bit low there. Must have just missed low, and another walk issued this inning for Lynch.
Now batting the right fielder, number 5.
Don't see any pitching action in the bullpen for the Tigers yet. Alec DiMartino now up as he's going to look at an off-speed pitch outside as Lynch just hasn't been able to find first pitch strikes to get ahead of these Seahawk hitters. That's been a big contributor to the 4-run fourth. And we're not out of it yet. 2 outs, 2 runners on, and you got Thompson at second and Jones at first. That one grounded over to Peyton, and that's not going to be able to make the play. And another run is going to score off of an error from Jordan Payton on a routine ground ball. And just an abysmal inning here has just gotten worse and worse as a 5-run fourth. 10-0 is the Seahawk lead here in Towson. Still 2 runners on. And that first pitch to Nelson is going to be outside. That one's going to be driven deep and hard into left, and that one's back. And that's going to be home run number 2 of the day for Nelson as he's seeing everything. He has a 2-run, 3-run shot here to add to his repertoire. 2 home runs on the day, a triple on the day, 3 extra base hits. And the score is 13-0 here in the top of the 4th. That one's driven deep, and that one's going back towards the scoreboard, and that one's going to be a back-to-back home run for the Seahawks here, and it's now 14-0. Nothing has gone right here for Lynch in the top of the 4th. It was a barrage of home runs yesterday from the Seahawks, and they have not trailed off here today. We'll see how much more they give Lynch here in the top of the 4th as they have action in the bullpen for the Tigers. At this point, with no runners on and 2 outs, you're probably just going to let Lynch finish this 4th and make a switch to start the 5th. As we're back to the top of the lineup here with Wills. And it looks like Lynch's day is going to be done as Matt Tyner taking his walk out to the mound. As we're going to step aside as well, have a pitching change here in Towson when we get back here on Flow Sports. Back here in Towson is pitching change here. And Sherholtz Park is Lynch's day is done. Disastrous fourth inning here for the Tigers as of right now. And they're going to switch it over to number 46, the freshman right-handed pitcher Henry Ortiz. Try to finish out this inning. As you look at the inning here, and you had the routine fly ball out to right that got lost in the sun. The wind kept pushing it, as we talked about. The wind has been left to right most of the day. It's now going straight out, and the ball just carried on him a little bit, lost it, didn't help there, and then you mix in the walks from Lynch, and all of those runs score. You have the error from Peyton at short on a routine ground ball that brings up Nelson, who then hits a long home run out to left, and then you thought the damage was over, and then you get Gillespie up, and he hits one out to right off the scoreboard, and that's how we get the 14-0 in the pitching change here for Towson. Towson fell yesterday in the series opener. As Brock Wills steps back in now to face Ortiz. Nobody on. Clean sheet here for Ortiz, and fires a first pitch strike. Still 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. As that one's in the dirt. Not able to be blocked by Heckelman, but 1 ball, 1 strike here to Wills. Wills on the day 1 for 2 in RBI, batting .358 on the year. Has been great for the Seahawks in the leadoff spot. And that one's going to be driven into center. Not moving much is Ahalt. The inning is finally over for Towson as a 9-run 4th inning contributed by the Seahawks as the Tigers try to get back into this one, but trail 14-0 as we come back and for the bottom of the 4th here on Flow Sports. Back here in the bottom of the 4th as the Tigers trying to get a comeback going here as they trail 14-0 as it's been a long ball barrage for the Seahawks here so far through 4. Heckelman behind, 0-1 on the count here. Tigers just try to have to go batter at a time here. As that one, he ducks away. High and inside. 1-1. One and 2 now delivered to Heckelman as the Tigers still looking for their first hit of the afternoon. Tigers have had one runner on so far, and that was a walk. As he fouls that one off and he stays alive. That one's going to go back into the backstop. Count runs full here to Heckelman as he's battled back. That one's going to be the first base hit for the Tigers here as that one's driven deep into the gap. That one's going to get to the wall. Heckelman going to go to second. He's going to stay there. And the Tigers finally have their first hit of the afternoon off of a double, a leadoff double from Heckelman.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 28, Max D'Alessandro.
And the Tigers are finally able to try to claw their way back in this one. And with nobody out. As with a runner on second here and nobody out off of the leadoff double. The Tigers have an opportunity here with Max D'Alessandro. That one's going to be swung off, fouled off of him. And 1-1. That one's going to be fouled straight back. And right over the press box as it's going to remain 1-2 strikes here with nobody out. Heckelman at second here. That one's going to be fouled off him and just going to stay foul. Count's going to remain here for D'Alessandro. The 1-2, nice off-speed pitch is going to be swung on and missed. Throw down to second, not in time. But a beautiful off-speed pitch there.
Now batting the right fielder,
On
number
the slider
38,
from
Ben Nugent.
Marshburn is. That's going to bring up the right fielder, Ben Nugent. Freshman limited at-bats so far this season. Only had 9 at-bats coming into today. And goes attack mode on the first pitch. That one's going to be shallow left, drifting foul. It stays in, and able to come underneath that was Wills for out number 2. And after a leadoff double by Heckelman, 2 quick outs for the Tigers.
Batting the second baseman, number 8, Casey Bishop.
As they could really use a base hit here to score Heckelman. That's going to bring up Casey Bishop, the junior, hitting .208 on the year. And that one's going to be a weak ground ball to shortstop over to first. Picked over at first for out number 3. Tigers get a leadoff double to get the inning started, but no action after that as they're going to still trail heading into the top of the 5th. 14-0 here on Flow Sports. Back here for the fifth inning of action here at John B. Sherholtz Park here on the campus of Towson, Maryland, where the Tigers trail the Seahawks of UNCW 14-0 here as we start the top of the fifth inning. Ortiz back on the mound as Lucas will lead off the Seahawks here as they had a barrage of runs there in the top of the fourth, a 9-run fourth. That pitch is going to be low and away, 2-0, and just Tiger pitcher is not able to get ahead early in the counts against the Seahawks here today. That one's outside. That one's going to go 3-0, and he's probably just going to sit back and let this one come in. Three balls, no strikes to Lucas. That one finds the outside corner as Ortiz tries to battle back here. Three 1, big swing and miss on the off speed, low and away. Count once, 3-0. Now runs full with nobody out here to lead off the fifth. Lucas 1 for 2 on the day, 2 runs and a walk. As he battles a full count here, looks at that one high. And that's going to be a leadoff walk here for UNCW as they look to add on to this 14-run lead.
Now batting the first baseman, number 29, Tanner Thatch.
And that's going to bring up the first baseman, Tanner Thatch. 329 hitter on the year, 1 for 3 and a run. 1 strikeout on the afternoon. That was a big strikeout that we thought we were going to spark them there in the fourth, but quickly went downhill after that, after giving up a 3-run home run to Nelson. Lucas takes his lead at first. The 0-1 pitch outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. We got bullpen action here in Towson as Jacob Whiteman now warming up in the bullpen. We'll see how much they'll leave Ortiz in as that one's coming straight back over the press box, actually right in front of the press box. Almost had to make a play. All is good. 1-2. Nobody out. They check over at first. That one's going to be wild throw. And Lucas is going to take second off of that wild throw on the pickoff attempt. And with nobody out, that's a runner in scoring position here with a 1-2 count to Thatch. Just not been a great defensive outing here for the Tigers, as that one's going to be grounded foul. Count's going to remain. Lucas stands on second. Thatch ready at home plate. He takes his lead. Delivery from Ortiz. Off speed, not finding the zone on the outside corner. Must have just missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes here. Nobody out still here in the top of the fifth. And that one's going to be inside. Jammed them a little bit, able to get on that and foul that one off. Let's see if Ortiz can get a strikeout here and get a much-needed first out here with a runner on second. That one's going to be hard hit down the right side and foul. Thatch ahead on all these pitches from Ortiz. See if he keeps on off-speed pitches here to get him out in front. As Thatch has been a little early on every single one of these. He connects on that one. That one's going to find its way down, and the lead is going to extend here as he's going to turn, head to second. And he is going to slide in safely. RBI double down the right field line, and that's going to extend it to a 15-0 lead here in Towson.
Warming up in the bullpen for Towson is number 23, Nate Navholz.
And that's going to be his 32nd RBI on the year. As he was out in front of all those pitches and was able just to keep this one in down the right field line. Nobody out here as they trade places as Thatch now takes his lead at second. And his first pitch to Arndt. Ortiz to Arndt. Outside, 1-1. Arndt 1 for 3 on the afternoon. Has a run and an RBI. Had an RBI double this afternoon. Has strikeout otherwise. But 227 hitter on the year. As he has an opportunity to add to his RBI list. As that one nicks him. And it looks like it hit him on the inside of the forearm. And with nobody out, after an RBI double, you get a hit by a pitch, and now you have 2 runners on, nobody out. And that's going to bring up a freshman left-hander in Thompson. And Thompson already has 2 RBIs on the day. And that one's going to be blocked in the dirt by Current. But that actually is going to hit him. That's going to be back-to-back hit by pitches. And it looks like they're going to convene here. I thought that hit the dirt. Looks like Thompson's trying to sell that this one went off him, and he's going to get it. So, RBI double and 2 hit batters. Loads up the bases here against Ortiz. Tyner coming out to talk. The home plate umpire not happy with that call. And it looks like they're going to let Ortiz deal this one.
Now batting the shortstop, number
And with nobody out here, we still have the bases loaded for Kevin Jones. One for 2 on the day. Had a walk and 2 RBIs. Has an opportunity here with runners on every base as he looks at a first pitch strike to add on to that RBI list here today. Nick Carl's now warming up the arm in the bullpen for the Tigers. Tigers still looking for their first out of the inning as the pitch to Jones. That's hit into right field. Underneath that one is Nugent in fair territory. They're tagging. And they're going to go to second. Runner's going to come in, and another run's going to score here for UNCW off of the fly out to right. They give up a run here, but get the out. See if that can snowball here into a few more. Runners on the corners here. Thompson did not tag from first, but Arndt did tag from second to third. First pitch to DiMartino. That's going to be a ball, 1-0. $16 runs off of 11 hits this afternoon for the Seahawks. And they're looking to add more here in the top of the 5th as that one's blocked by Curran in the dirt. Can't see Ortiz having much more of a leash here. 0 for 2 on DiMartino. As that one's driven deep into center. Going back is Ahalt, able to make the catch at the warning track, but that's going to tag another runner as Arndt comes in. Thompson also tags from first and heads to second. And that's going to be a 3-run fifth here so far with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Seahawks still have a runner in scoring position here with 2 outs as they lead 17-0 over the Tigers here in Game 2 of the series. Nelson having a huge day at the plate as he's attacking that one. Ground ball over to third. Brand over to first. And the electric day for Nelson comes to a quick halt there as the Tigers will head into the bottom of the 5th as they trail UNCW 17-0 here on Flow Sports. Bottom 5 here in Towson. Tigers trail 17-0. Cole Stefano due up here to lead off for the Tigers as he looks at a first pitch strike on the outside. It's been all UNCW here this afternoon on both sides of the field. Until last inning, Stefano was the lone base runner off of his walk before the double from Heckelman. Tigers is not able to get anything going here at the plate this afternoon. 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Stefano as hitting .246 on the year. Stefano runs a count full here against Marshburn. Marshburn so far through 4 innings pitched, 1 hit allowed, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Make that 5 strikeouts as he retires. The first Towson batter here as Stefano walks back to the dugout. 5 strikeouts now for Marshburn. The lone hit being that double to Heckelman. Janov now steps in, 197 on the year. Went fishing and found that one off. Looked like that would have been a ball inside. Just got caught out in front. One out here in the bottom of the fifth. And it's 1-1 now.
Hey,
1-1. Hard swing and miss there from Janov. 1-2.
She was sending a picture to us. Yeah, it's in the group chat.
Marshburg,
Lots of changes.
you see a lot of fastball recently and then likes to go to that slider once ahead in the count. He's now ahead in the count. See if he goes to that slider changeup here, which he does right there, and he gets the swing and miss. As that's been a pitch that's worked for him all afternoon. And he is 2 batters up, 2 batters down via strikeout. And that's going to bring up Ethan Brand, the 9-hitter for the Tigers. As that one's going to hit the corner on the outside, 0-1. Fouling off 0-2. Quickly down in the count, 0-2. Two outs. Brand steps back in. Marshburn ready to deliver the 0-2. That off speed that's worked so well for him here recently in the dirt. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes right back at it before coming back inside with a fastball. See which he chooses here. He goes right back out there again, and that one's fouled off. 2 straight off-speed pitches low and away. See if he comes back in with a fastball on the inside. Has a few pitches to work with here. Looks like he lost a little bit of the command there as that one hits the backstop. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And another one gets past the catcher here of Arndt into the backstop. And now he really has nowhere to go. And his full count here with 2 outs. Nobody on for the Tigers. See if he just attacks the zone here and trusts his stuff. He's going to do that, and he gets a swing and miss. 3 up, 3 down as he gets 3 strikeouts here to end the 5th inning here in Towson as the Tigers trail the Seahawks of UNCW 17-0 here as we head into the 6th inning of action here on Flow Sports. As we have a few changes here for Towson. We also have a pinch hitter, it looks like, here for the Seahawks here to start out the 6th. Nick Carl's now in the game to pitch here for the Tigers. 14 ERA on the year, the right-hander. As we have pinch hitter Mason Hughes, the freshman left-handed batter, and that one's skied to center. Shading towards right center underneath that one, and that's going to be a big quick out there from Stefano, has moved from left to center as Brady Nathanson now out and left for the Tigers. Janov out and right. Cobb now at second. Phillip at first. And Bishop at short. A bunch of changes there defensively for the Tigers. As we have another pinch hitter, Cooper Allen now, the soft. This is still Wills, pinch hitter on deck for the Seahawks. As that one's going to miss the zone, 2-0. One out here. As I'm going to expect to see more changes here going forward from both teams. With the score being 17-0 here, just trying to get some players some opportunities on both sides in the field and at the plate for both of these teams. Just this one got away from the Tigers a little bit there with the 9-run inning in the 4th. 2 balls, 2 strikes now here to Wills. As Carls looks for out number 2 here in the top of the 6th. Beautiful day here in Towson. Finally looking to warm up here in Maryland. As it'll be even hotter tomorrow. As he gets a swing and miss there for out number 2. If you're looking for some collegiate athletics here on Flow Sports tomorrow, tune in as the Tigers in Fairfield take on men's lacrosse. Tigers undefeated in the CAA, and Fairfield ranked number 15th in the country as they're fighting for the number 1 spot heading into the conference tournament. That'll be here in Towson at Johnny Unitas Stadium. As Lucas, or not Lucas, is going to fly into right field for a base hit.
Now batting the first baseman, number 29, Tanner Thatch.
Tanner Thatch now due up. But like I said, men's lacrosse action on Store Lacrosse TV and Flow Sports tomorrow. That game at noon here in Towson, so make sure you tune in for that one. That'll be an exciting matchup. We'll also have Towson softball on Sunday for some Easter action. 2 outs here, 1 ball, no strikes. As it's now fouled off and 1-1 here with 2 outs. The delivery high, 2-1. Big swing and miss there. 2-2 here to Thatch. And with 2 outs, runner on first. Carls evens this one back up 2-2. Thatch is ready. May check over at first. He steps back in. Novobilski back in. as he takes his lead once again. Very short lead at first. Not a big threat to run, as that one's going to be just fouling off backwards. Count's going to remain. Two balls, two strikes, two outs, runner on. And once again, this one comes straight back. Thatch battling hard against Carls here in this at-bat here in the top of the sixth. At all speed just outside. Now full count 3-2 with two outs. We got a pinch hitter on deck right now for the Seahawks. And that one's going to be a routine pop-up to Bishop, shading over to second. Comes up with that one. Quick inning there for Towson as they come out unscathed. And they'll come up to the plate down 17-0 here in the bottom of the sixth here on Flow Sports. Bottom sixth here. Matthew Mutterman on the call here for Towson on Flow Sports as Tigers trail 17-0 here in the bottom of the sixth. Marshburn still in the game on the mound for the Seahawks. As Nathanson will see his first at bat here as he came in for left in the top half of the inning. As he's ahead in the count here on the first two pitches he sees 2-0. He's hitting 229 here on the year. 2-1 count. Marshburn ready to deliver to Nathanson. That one's going to be fouled off him and away 2-2 as Marshburn battles right back as he's done all day. Has not given much leeway to these Towson hitters as the Tigers still only two runners on all day. A walk and a double. As that off speed that he's had success on is in the dirt. Three balls, two strikes. That one's going to be grounded to short. Jones, backhanded, fires a bullet over to first for out number one. As Nathanson is retired here to lead off the bottom of the sixth. As that's going to bring up Cobb hitting .355 on the year. He takes a high heater. He bows back 1-1 here to Cobb.
Warming up in the bullpen for Towson is number 35, Leo Simpson.
Leo Simpson now warming up in the Tiger bullpen. 1 ball, 2 strikes here with 1 out. That one's grounded to third. Fires over to first. Stretching to make the play. He's going to retire. Cobb as he trips over the bag. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th.
Joey Curran.
First pitch outside. Not enough. That one's inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Marshburg's pitch count getting a little high right now. We'll see how much more he's got in him. That one's going to be a weak ground ball to Marshburg on the mound. Lightly thrown over to first in a 1-2-3 inning here as we head into the 7th inning of action with a big lead for the Seahawks as they lead 17-0 here on Flow Sports. As we now have a new pitcher on the mound, Leo Simpson, making his outing here against the Seahawks, as that first pitch is going to be high. Zelenka, the pinch hitter, hitting .274 on the year, gets his first plate appearance here of the afternoon. Simpson in the dirt. Falls behind 2-0. I mean, at this point in the game, you fall behind 3-0 here in the count. You're down 17-0. You're getting an outing. Just try to find a way to find the strike zone here. Just get into a rhythm. And that's going to be a 4-pitch walk to the Zelenka. Looks like we have Aiden Evans stepping into the box,
Now batting
the junior right-handed infielder.
Aiden Evans.
Warming up in the bullpen for North Carolina Wilmington is number 11, Connor Kane. For North Carolina Wilmington.
Connor Kane is warming up now in the bullpen for the Seahawks, so it looks like Marshburn's days might be done. We'll see. We know his pitch count was getting close to the 90 mark there after the bottom of the sixth, so his day might be done. As he'll finish with probably 96 pitches there in his outing. Has just 6 straight balls so far from Leo Simpson and just not finding any of his command so far through 2 batters. Curran trying to just settle him down a little bit, just telling him to just find the strike zone. Let the defense do the work. See if that quick little visit works. Zelenka takes his lead 2-0. There we go. Find the zone right down the middle. See if that gets him into a rhythm here. 2-1. And just high and away. 3-1 now. Evans steps back in. And that one's going to plunk him in the back. Evans looks frustrated with that one. Just the command not there right now from Leo Simpson. And nobody out. 2 runners on off of a walk and a hit by pitch. And that's going to bring up the senior right-handed hitter in Kevin Jones. Jones 1 for 2 on the day with a walk, a run, and 3 RBIs.
Warming up in the bullpen for Towson is number 21.
2-0 count.
For Towson in the bullpen, 21 Canane.
Jace Canane now warming up in the bullpen for the Tigers. As Simpson is just struggling to find the zone. Only 1 strike so far through his outing. Just the command not there right now. And there you go. He gets it in there. 3-1. Two runners on. 3-1 count. Nobody out. As he finds the zone again with an off-speed pitch. 3-2. Runs the count full. The full count delivery. And that one's going to be fouled back. And the count's going to remain the same. Three balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. 2 runners on. That one's going to be grounded to third. Up with it, over to second. And he hesitates, doesn't throw it to second, waits to throw it to first. That's going to be an infield single, just the hesitation on where he wanted to go from Ethan Brand. Looked like he was going to try to make the play at second, decided he was too late, and by the time he switched over and pivoted over to first, it was not going to be in time. So now with nobody out, bases are loaded here. Seahawks already lead 17-0. And it looks like Simpson's just now finding his groove a little bit. It would have been really nice to get that out to add on top of it. But the struggle bus of a day continues here for the Tigers. As Pleasant now at the plate. And falls behind quickly, 0-2. Big step and a big moment here for Carver Pleasant freshman. Getting an opportunity here. In an outing, you got the bases loaded here. This is a good opportunity here for him. But a swing and a miss as he goes down. For out number one here against Simpson. It's a good opportunity here if you're the coaching staff of UNCW to get your younger players some action here, especially with the bases loaded. Strike to Nelson, and if you're Simpson, this is not the guy that you want up currently. With the bases loaded, 3 for 4 in the afternoon, 2 home runs, and a triple, 4 RBIs so far on the afternoon, and he's been hitting the cover off the ball today. Now he has an opportunity here with the bases loaded and 1 out to do more damage. Nelson off speed, curves back in, but not enough. Nelson digs back in. Bases loaded here against Simpson with 1 out. That one's in the dirt. With Nelson's 2 home run day here this afternoon, he's at 10 double digits on the season as he fouls that one off. As he's the only Seahawk as of right now with double-digit home runs on the year. As he takes the 2-2, make it 3-2, runs it full, and with 1 out. Bases all occupied. There's nowhere to put him if you're Simpson. You got Zelenka at third, Evans at second, and Jones at first. And you got a full count here to Nelson. As Simpson delivers. And that one's going to be high, and that's going to walk in a run, 18-0 now. And that's going to be another RBI. As his good day continues, as he's now found the bases 4 times through 5 at-bats, or technically 4. $18 to nothing. Bases still loaded with 1 out. As that one goes away. Mason Hughes, the freshman left-hander. Another key moment here for a freshman of this UNCW squad. As he looks at another one down, 2-0. Hughes looks at that off-speed outside for strike one. 2-1 here. Top 7 action. UNCW leads the Tigers 18-0 here in Towson. 2-1 count. Hughes ready. Simpson delivers. And that one's going to be grounded into the dugout. 2-2. Not getting the call there from home plate umpire Michael Mackey. Just a little bit outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. See how much more they give Simpson here. Especially after another walk. And that's going to be a second consecutive bases loaded walk. 19-0 here this afternoon. As we see Matt Tyner now walking out. Not yet signaled that we're going to have a pitching change, but now we will. As we are going to have a pitching change here in Towson. The bases will be loaded as we'll come back here on Flow Sports. Back here in Towson, top of the 7th. 19-0. Bases loaded as we had a pitching change. As Jace Kanane is now on the mound and Riker Galaska now up for the Seahawks as Kanane finds the zone early and gets ahead 0-1. The 0-1, grounded to first. Thought about going to second quickly, but steps on first for an out. Gets 2 outs here, but that's going to be a run scored, and that's going to round out the score to 20-0. 20-0 here. 2 outs now. Runners on second and third.
22.
That first pitch is fouled out. Novoblinski fouled out. Singled in his first at bat. He's 1 for 1 on the day as he looks at that one in the dirt. 1-1. Two balls, 1 strike here with 2 outs, 2 runners on. Number 22 at the plate. Novobilski flies that out to left, going back. Not able to make the play. Out in left is Nathanson. That's going to score 2. And that's going to clear the bases 22-0 here off of a 2-run RBI double from Novoblinski.
Now batting the
And the
first
rough day
baseman, number
continues for the Tigers. Just sometimes it's not your day. That one's going to be grounded to second. Cobb bobbled it for a quick second, fires it over to first. And the inning is over. The Tigers with 3 outs to work with here trail 22-0 as we come back with the bottom half of the 7th here on Flow Sports. Back here, bottom half of the 7th. Tigers got 3 outs to work with here in game 2 of a series with the Seahawks. And as Tay Robinson's going to lead us off here in the bottom half of the 7th.
number 7, Tay Robinson.
Connor Kane now on the mound as Marshburg's day is done. 6 innings pitched for Marshburn, and that one's going to be a first pitch swinging single up the middle for Robinson. Tigers get their second hit of the afternoon.
Now batting the first baseman, number 26, MJ Phillips.
MJ Phillips now steps in with Robinson on first.
Gonna be a pinch hitter. Next up, 32 Cal Roy for Bishop.
First pitch ball there to Phillips. Cal Royer on deck to pinch hit for Towson. Short lead at first. That's going to be fouled down left field line and onto the bridge and over. The 1-1. Not in the zone, 2-1. Two balls, two strikes. That one's going to find its way through the infield. And that's going to be a no-out single. And we're going to have runners on the corners here in the bottom of the seventh with nobody out. Tigers still trail here. And that's going to bring up as a pinch hitter Cal Royer. Royer gets the opportunity here with runners on first and third with nobody down. As the Tigers just trying to find any momentum they can possibly carry into tomorrow's Game 3. Soft swing there from Royer, swing and miss. Tigers threatening to break up this shutout for UNCW. And the 0-1 finds the zone, 0-2. Quickly behind 0-2 is Royer. 167 average on the year. The 0-2 in the dirt, blocked by Zelenka. And the runners are going to remain at their given base, first and third. One ball, two strike the Royer, two runners on. That one's scooped. They're going to have a play at second. He's going to be tagged out. And what a save and scoop there from Zelenka behind the plate. Looked like Phillips thought he mishandled it and lost it. He initially took off, hesitated. Zelenka looked up, saw he had a play at second, threw it down, fired a perfect ball down to second and caught him. And if you're just going to hesitate like that, it's best to just go back. And you once had runners on first and third with nobody out. And in two pitches, there's two outs and only a runner on third. And the Tigers down to their final out. First pitch finds the zone. And Stefano looks at that one. He's 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout and a walk. Kane trying to preserve the shutout. That one not in the zone. 1-1. 22 runs off of 14 hits. No runs off of 3 hits is the stat distribution today. As that one's flown out to left. Down the left field line. Is it going to stay in? And it comes back. And that one's going to end it here. As the shutout is preserved, 22-0 here. As the Tigers fall in Game 2, as we'll try to right the ship in Game 3 tomorrow. As they'll be back here tomorrow here at Sherholtz Park. You'll be able to find that one live stats on TowsonTigers.com. But that's going to do it for us here today. Just was not Towson's day, as it was all Seahawks here in Towson as they beat Towson 22-0 here on Flow Sports.